From Timcast.com, YouTube to remove videos containing false claims and unsafe instructions regarding abortion. Quote, we prioritize connecting people to content from authoritative sources on health topics. Now, this is interesting. This is censorship about false claims and unsafe instructions regarding abortion. Is that actually helping conservatives? Now think about it. The Vice magazine, their website, published an article on taking horse medicine to induce abortion.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What?
Yes.
Wait, I thought we're supposed to be against horse medicine.
That's what I was going to say. Only if Joe Rogan says it.
We are against horse medicine.
Are we against it? Or we?
Yes.
Not anymore.
So there's a funny meme,
Can't keep
and it's
up.
called the horseshoe medicine theory, and it's on the right. It's ivermectin on the left. I forgot what it's called. You guys know what it's called?
Yeah, it's like an antibiotic.
No, it was like an antacid or something, or I don't know, induces abortion. And then in the middle was BoJack Horseman. But it's like Vice actually ran that. So think about what's happening right now. You've got red states banning abortion. YouTube enacts a censorship policy that's going to stop progressives and liberals from giving advice on how to induce abortion or seek it out in these states.
Wow.
So that's actually...
So maybe YouTube's kind of against the baby killing, or where are we going?
I think YouTube's always been scared of liability.
They should be.
And that's it. So that's why when you get claims from the right about ivermectin, they're like, no, shut it down, because someone would sue them. Now you've got progressives who are going to be like, here's how you induce an abortion. And they're like, no, shut it down.
Yeah, but this is where corporate communism comes in. I'm very much against censorship. So, you know what's really amazing is I believe in people and I believe in their intelligence. And I believe if you allow them, if they can read as much as they can and see people debate and argue and share ideas, guess what? People are going to figure out the truth. Yeah. So let's take this. What if YouTube didn't censor all that stuff and and you know how pro-life I am, and you have people putting out stories about how to self-induce an abortion, which I think is horrific.
They die.
They would die.
Mm-hmm.
It's awful. But then you would also have people trying to save their lives on YouTube saying, this will kill you. Don't do this. It's not going to just kill your baby. It's going to kill you.
So I suppose the issue is...
I mean, we don't want anyone to take a drug and kill themselves. And that's horrific. And that's an extreme example. But when you allow people to debate ideas instead of cover it up,
yeah,
you know what? The truth is going to get revealed.
So I totally agree with you on that free speech point. That's why free speech is so important, to debate the real ideas. I'm still in shock that me and you went for the same horse joke at the same time. And I'm like, damn it, no, we are friends. And then the other thing I really
You're
like...
going to stop all the rumors about me, Jamie.
I know. This is it. That's my goal. That is my goal.
That's awesome.
The other thing I liked that you said was the anti-war comment. Because to me, being truly pro-life is... pro-life. If you're pro-life when it comes to abortion, in my opinion, pro-life is also anti-death penalty. It's anti-war. It's all these things.
It's a stance on abortion.
No. But like, if you're taking it as a bigger picture,
no,
right?
Because I think that's whataboutism. Because it's like, oh, you're pro-life. Well, what about this social issue I hold dear to me, and this one, and this one, and this one? And if you don't agree with me on all of those, well, then you're not pro-life, are you?
Well, I take back my one compliment, Marjorie. I really do think that, like, if you take it out of an abortion context, right? So you could flip it the other way.
It's only in the abortion context.
We at Timcast.com had an editorial meeting, and we do not use, to the best of our abilities, we refrain from using the terms pro-choice and pro-life in these contexts, because it does not adequately explain what's happening in many of these protests. So there were a bunch of protests. Some people were out there being like, we're pro-choice. Yeah. And it's like, what does that mean? Because all that results in is like, you got people who are for a vax mandate. And then the inverse argument happens. Well, if you're really for pro-choice, then you have to support my right not to take medication. Right. And the left doesn't do it. Right. And then the left says, well, if you were really pro-life, and then I'm like, that doesn't matter. Right. Are you for abortion or do you oppose abortion? Sure. The pro-choice group was actually advocating for the expansion of abortion, and the right group was arguing for the rescinding of access, or I should say a reduction in access to abortion. So we just say pro and anti-abortion.
Cool. I will rephrase. I like that you're anti-war. And
I am anti-war.
I like that a lot. And I think a lot of people on the left probably don't know that, especially as the left is advocating for war. My question on abortion, and I mean this like, it's not a gotcha thing, like I legitimately want to know, is if abortion was banned, when you were talking about those YouTube videos, and obviously women would get hurt, right? If they try to induce their own abortion because you're watching, I can barely learn a song on guitar watching YouTube tutorials, let alone am I going to figure out how to perform an abortion.
Which would be awful.
It would not be good.
Awful.
So my question
We
is,
don't want anybody to do that. No one should do that.
What do you do? Like, what is your solution for those cases? And I don't care about percentages. Let's say it's 1 for those cases of a child being raped, for the case of incest. What is the answer? Because I don't know, right? What's the answer for what happens a lot of times with prohibition, where it's still going to happen, but it's going to happen unsafe? Like, what do we do about those situations? Because I do believe that you're pro-life. For like, I believe that you.
Well, there's a really simple argument, because we've had this conversation like 50 billion times. Banning murder, you still have murders. So, right?
Yeah.
So if the idea is that an abortion is wrong and it's a murder, and people decide to go and just try and commit it in an unsafe way, it's like, that's going to happen.
No, but I just
yeah.
want to know, because you did make that point about how you want to help women as well. So like, what would you do if abortion was legal to help those women?
Well, Tim just made a really good point. Murder is illegal, and people are getting murdered every day. So, and we don't have a perfect world, and it's impossible to control everything and stop anything bad from happening to anyone. We wish we could, but it's impossible, right? So, and a child being raped, incest is wrong. All of that stuff are horrific, and occasionally they happen. And so that's why there's some people have different levels of what they think is right and wrong for abortion. I still believe in life at conception. I really do.
But
and then on rape, now this is what happens when a woman is raped, and if she goes to the hospital right away,
Yeah.
they typically give her a Plan B pill. That happens almost in every single instance when a woman goes to the hospital, and there's an extensive process for the woman to be treated. So that is like, it's such a small percentage.
Well, real quick, does Plan B prevents conception?
Plan B prevents implantation.
Correct.
And I'm not saying I'm for that. I'm just saying that's what happens when women are raped.
Are
So,
women informed that they're given that pill?
yes, they are informed when they go to the hospital that they're given that pill.
Okay.
So just letting you know how rare it is. If a woman is really raped and she goes to the hospital for it, I think most women are taking it. But there's also some amazing stories. Oh my gosh, you meet some of the most beautiful people and hear their stories that were born out of rape. And wow, those are some strong women to have that child that was born out of a horrible, horrible situation. But I will say this, abortion was not legal until, what was it, 1973?
Yeah.
So imagine how many people have lived since the beginning of time because there weren't abortions.
Well, and that's why whenever you get people on the left who sound like they're pro-abortion, not the safe, rare, and legal, but just like, all willy-nilly about it, like I'm never going to be on that side. The reason that the word choice for me is so important is because of those rare circumstances. You know what I mean? And that's where I just go, it's so hard for me to fully commit over to the other side when you hear, terrible stories about things that happen to, kids. And then you just go, I don't know. It's so hard. It's so hard.
I think it's absolutely insane that we've gotten to the point where there's advocacy for post-viability abortion. Because
oh, yeah.
Elective, contraceptive, post-viability abortion to me just sounds like insane.
It is insane.
You mean you can deliver the baby, it can be C-section, you can induce labor, and the baby can live, but you want to kill it anyway? That's just, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's too much. It's like, it's such a thing, you can't even comprehend it. But really, I think we forgot. I think so many people have forgotten that before 1973, there was an abortion. And we've, over 63 million people have been killed in the womb. And you have to ask, who are those people? Who would they have been?
Isn't it 5
and
times?
How would our society be different if they were here with us?
What if they were all the bad people?
It's,
I don't think they were.
I'm just kidding.
I don't.
5 times more likely to be black.
No.
I believe
yeah.
I believe it's 5 times more likely.
It is truly
that-
black genocide. It
It's
really
absolutely
is.
insane to me.
And just
It's awful.
the way that you can have the conversation, I think, is so important, where it's just we are lacking empathy, right? It's either you are pro women dying or pro babies dying. if you just look at it on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. And I think just having that second when you hear a story, and this is with all issues, not even just abortion, when there's a school shooting, we don't live in a world anymore where when a tragedy happens, we can all take a deep breath and actually feel empathy for the people who were actually hurt, or for the woman who was raped, or for, all these stories. We immediately have to go, what is our side saying? How can we blame the Republicans? How can we blame the Democrats? And that's where I think we're losing our soul.
I gotta tell you, as someone who's been traditionally liberal and pro-choice, I do not see that from the right. I see.
No, I'm saying in general.
But I don't hear it's the Democrats' fault. How can we blame them?
Yeah.
I hear I put. You know what? Let me see if I can pull something up on Instagram.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the old Timcast Instagram. I think it was the last thing I posted. All right, is it going to give me the business? Let's see if I can. I'll get it. Here we go. Take a look at this.
Okay, let's go.
So we show this all the time. The
Oh,
ground
that's right.
news bias. Mine is left leaning, but there's a 30% right. Batya Unger Sargon of Newsweek, actually more right wing than left wing. And then we have Ben Shapiro, 39% left, 48% right. And then you have the NBC News team, just all completely left. I don't hear that when it's like there's an argument happening. The right says, guys, let's figure this out. Let's compromise. And the left just says, you're far right and crazy and I won't listen to you.
Especially after Roe was overturned. Think about all of these pro-life advocacy groups and crisis pregnancy centers that were getting targeted after that. I feel like that's all being perpetrated by the left and by pro-abortionists.
Well, yeah,
and
it's not
Elizabeth
conservatives
Warren
doing it.
wants to shut them
Yeah,
down.
they want to literally ban them.
This is a senator. She thinks
Yeah.
they don't have the right to exist in these pregnancy
These
resource
places
centers.
are run by women. The entire pro-life
To
movement
help
is
women.
run by women
For free.
to help women. And
For free.
I volunteered at one of them, and they had fake appointments booked all the time by these pro-choicers who wanted to sabotage the purpose of that place, which is all volunteer based.
So,
to help women.
by the way, can I tell you, as a dude on the left, what I heard about those places? So I know nothing about those places, straight up. Like I would ask you who worked there. But what we heard on the left, all I knew was essentially, oh, those are the places that trick girls who want to get abortions and pressure them into having the baby. That's like the talking point
There's no
that I
trick.
got. No, but like that's
Yeah, they like give carriages and like formula.
And they help them sign up for government services.
Parenting
free
classes.
ultrasounds,
Free ultrasounds.
free resources, free counseling. The counseling
monsters.
is framed as like, we're going to trick you into not getting an abortion. There were
Right.
plenty of clients who walked out all the time saying like, no, I think I'm still going to get an abortion.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, we
And then
pray
you
for
tied them down
we
until-
love you.
oh,
And
okay.
that's like, we can't stop you, but
Yeah.
like we
We
love
can't
you
stop
and
you,
we're
but we
here for
can
you.
lock these doors.
They were like, we actually have this room here you can stay in. The door's locked for 9 months.
Yeah.
It's on a
That does
timer.
not happen.
No, but I mean, but this is what I'm talking about, right? Where it's like, and I'm sure, by the way, there are pro-choice people who would make points, I hope, about sex education or about things like that, that maybe you guys would agree with, or maybe pro-life people would agree with. And when I hear what those centers really are, I go, okay, man, well, I guess I was wrong about that. And I just wish we could have more conversations like this, where it's like the goal should be less suffering, period. Whether that's for babies, whether that's for women. And then you take people who disagree and you go, how do we get there?
This is
I
It's
agree.
not
And you
either
want to
or,
know
it's both
something?
and.
Yes.
I enjoy you being in this conversation because I
Damn
think
right.
men should be in the conversation, because you want to know something? Being a father is also so important. Why don't men get a say?
Think about the choice that's taken.
Why
away from
has it
fathers.
taken me since 40 years old to hang out with conservative women? This rules. That's right. I am important. You guys hear that? Follow me on Twitter. Okay.
Well, I wonder if a lot of what we see with, look, it's like 2/3, 70% of millennial females are Democrat voters. So I wonder how many of those guys are just like, whatever you say, I'll say whatever I have to say to hook up with you, right?
I don't know, but I passed by a whole table full of them last night leaving a restaurant. And I have to
tell
tell
the
you,
story.
I got to tell you guys what happened.
I cannot stop laughing.
So we're in this restaurant. We got there. They had little American flags lining the sidewalk. I was like, I think I'm going to be safe here. So we're hanging out, have a great time. But we're walking out and we're walking by the patio. And there's a large table of, millennial age women. And all
What tipped you off? to them? Was there when you saw them? Were you like, oh?
No, I wasn't like, oh, it was, they were like, oh, they're like, oh, she's horrible. Oh my God. I can't believe that's MTG, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. And then they were throwing the names and making the comments. So I just turned around to him and I said, hey, thanks for voting for Biden. The inflation, it's great. Gas prices, I can't afford them. You guys are doing awesome. Your president, he's the best. You guys did great. And they were like, they're yelling at me. And I said, I hope you all have babies. I hope you all have babies. I can't wait. You should be a mom. Everybody be a mother. Have a baby. And then I left, and then they were unglued.
The fact that your heckle line is "I hope you have a baby" is so funny to me.
But what hits home for those women the most.
Right.
Those city living late.
I just want to write a blog. I don't want to have a
women
baby.
Who are single.
No, I just want them to be happy.
Yeah.
No, they're so bitter because they.
But
don't
think
have
about how they're
that.
targeted, though. They were encouraged to have a career, and then the company they work for is probably some corporation or a big one like the federal government because it was in Washington D.C.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but think about this: what are corporations doing right now?
Paying for abortions.
Abortion vacations.
Stingy on parental leave too.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
but you want to know
Get
what's
this.
more
Something that
difficult
the
for the
right
employer?
pushes for.
That maternity leave.
Yes.
Yeah, dealing with
Well-
them missing to go to all their doctor's appointments.
So we a couple of things. One is apparently companies that are doing that are getting sued because men say it's a discriminatory practice to offer a
is.
benefit to only females.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I should get a vacation just to knock people
no,
up.
no,
then.
no.
Oh,
The
okay.
idea is this: if
just gonna try to balance
a
it.
guy,
Oh, Jamie.
Sorry.
a guy should be able to go to the company and say, "I think I got a woman pregnant and she needs an abortion, so pay for it," and they should have to do that as well. Otherwise, it's a discriminatory practice to only pay for abortion services for female employees.
So
and
are
not
you
male
into
employees.
depopulation? Is that what's going on here? This sounds
Here-
very World Economic
Here
Forum
at
to me, Tim.
Timcast, we will not pay for our female employees' abortions.
That's
We
good
will
job.
give them unlimited maternity and paternity leave for the men because we trust the people who work here legitimately want to work here. And if they need time with their children, they're allowed to have it.
All right. Well, I guess that LA trip I told you about next week is off.
Well, I'm not paying for abortion services, but if you have a kid, go take care of your kid, and we'll let us know when you're good. So it's not like we have a big company, but we do have a lot of employees, and then family issues have come up, and I'm like, take as much time as you need. I trust that the job you do is something you're passionate about, and if you're not, then maybe you shouldn't be here anyway. So just go do your thing, and then we'll figure it out. And then if we don't hear from them for a couple of weeks, I'll be like, how's it going? Let us know when you're ready. I think, maybe it's too trusting. A lot of big corporations don't want to do that because they don't trust their employees, and a lot of employees probably would exploit that. But I don't know.
I
Maybe
will say
I'm just stupid.
the care you have for us is insane. That's very. He also. I will also say he doesn't take compliments well.
Don't get mushy.
Don't you tell me I care about my employees.
Oh my god.
He
He'll
locks us.
he'll
He locks us in the IRL studio.
well
all
he only
day.
locked
Doesn't give us any food.
he only locked you in there for 9 months. to
Yeah,
be fair.
9 months.
Yeah, that was the rule. I will
I give you bacon.
Tim will text me like really good news, like, hey, we're gonna do this, and I will write him the sappiest response where I'm just like, this has been a dream of mine and I've been through so much, and then his response is just like,
K.
see you at 5, and I'm like, all right.
Or K.
Okay, there's a lot of that. It's a lot of that.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Come hang out live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Super chat. We'll even answer some of your questions. If you want to check out the After Hours Censored show, go to timcast.com and become a member. We put those up Monday through Thursday at 11 p.m. They're very funny, not very family friendly. We'll love to see you there. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.